Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Festival of Nations Speaker Series, Inclusion St. Louis. The Inclusion St. Louis Speaker Series is intended to inform, educate, and inspire action towards building a more connected, thriving, and inclusive St. Louis. This series runs every Monday from 11 to 12 and will continue until August 23rd. Like I said earlier, today we're asking the question about what is the economic impact of inclusion in the St. Louis region? In other words, why is it imperative that we work towards a more inclusive St. Louis?
I will say, I think that, an economic inclusion for St. Louis is possible, but it will take real work because our region has had stagnant population growth for a number of years. And to be a growing region economically, it depends on population. You need to have people who want to live here, who stay here, and who attract other people to come, which is one of the reasons why the immigrant population, our foreign-born, is so important to the growth of our region.
A year ago, I went through the program, St. Louis Leadership through the Focus program. And one of the things that was really an eye-opener for me as a civilian, as a civilian, is that everybody in St. Louis has to make intentional and deliberate decision to be welcoming. You introduce yourself, let people know who you are, and welcome them to your place, to your neighborhood, to your house, to your meals. Grab a meal with them, so that the richer we get in terms of diversity in St. Louis, the better we get.
Yeah, with Betsy's point of view, on having the population is important, right? So now we're here I work in a technology company here at Mastercard. We have our headquarters housed here for all the technology work that Mastercard does. So to attract that talent to come and work in St. Louis, not just for Mastercard, but for all the other organizations, becomes very, very key part of the growth. And then it improves that whole cycle of when more people move here, the economic development of that city will thrive once we have people coming from outside, not just St. Louis or within US, but even outside US. I'm an immigrant myself. I moved here almost 21 years ago from India, and St. Louis is home for me now. So I think that is very, very important. That attraction has to be there for people to come to St. Louis.
Why is the work that you do at the Mosaic Project so important? In fact, you state that you aim at making St. Louis a cultural mosaic because the immigrants invigorate the community. So why is this work that you do so important for the economic development of the region?
Well, the work that was done originally in 2012, funded by the William T. Kemper Foundation, showed that our region has the opportunity to grow, and that this will add to the economic growth, the job growth, the cultural growth of the region. Some of the important data talks about the entrepreneurial community, our foreign-born community, starts jobs usually at 50%, 60% higher rate than our native-born community, which is something that Zelipa can talk about. That the entrepreneurship is important, people who come and move here to take opportunities, such as Mastercard, and that we know that the education and the motivation of immigrants are such a positive force. I think some recent data talks about the fact that of our top Fortune 500 companies, half are either started by immigrants or children of immigrants, and that these are so important to the economics of the region. We also know that when people move to our region, they become part of a neighborhood. They contribute by purchasing goods by the neighborhood markets. They pay taxes. They keep neighborhood schools open and teachers employed versus declining.
By having the warehouse in St. Louis, because we had a choice of where we'd have chosen to take it, without bringing it here, where we are all trying to improve the diversity and the growth of the economy, would be a good place to be. And it's going to directly impact in terms of jobs, in terms of finding those good things that people are looking for in terms of just, rich culture from Africa.
How will a more inclusive society directly impact the growth of your business?
I can add to that though,
Yes.
for a moment, that when Zelipa invited Mosaic and the Chambers and the African, the St. Charles, they all came. They all showed up. And I think, it takes both inviting and then showing up to show that inclusive support. And I really commend all the chambers that brought their members and really came to show her that there was community support of her growing business.
But what does inclusion mean for Mastercard, and how is the company working to support inclusion in the community?
Definitely. So this year, St. Louis was ranked, I think 50 out of the 50 metro areas that are owned by Black businesses, right? So for us, when we talk about inclusion, for us, it's generally driving better access to small business loans, to cash for running the businesses, for people to be able to get the basics that the community needs, right? So we believe that when we are able to lift the bottom tier, we all rise together. And to show the commitment to the region, in 2020, Mastercard did announce an investment of $500 million over the next 5 years to the community. And the purpose mainly of that investment was to make sure that all the products and services include technology, and we're able to support that here in the community and provide financial support to the small businesses that are otherwise struggling to get their loans in from the banks.
At this point, Betsy, Artie, Zelipa, thank you very much for taking time to share your thoughts and experience with us. I hope that we have inspired at least one person. That's why we always begin the show with a video which talks about the impact of one. For the things that we wish of this community, we can all make it happen. It just begins with the commitment of each one of us, every organization, and we will make it happen. So an inclusive St. Louis is possible. Thank you.